Welcome back to Block TV. It's time now for Traders Take. Well, what a roller coaster weekend we have had. Bitcoin is now officially below $10,000. We've head back to those 4 digits, which so many thought we'd never see again. One man who had me convinced we were never going to see 4 digits again, never in all his or my life. Of course, I'm talking about our technical analyst, Joe Saz, here, who joins us now. Joe, pleasure to have you with us. Fire and brimstone, Joe. That's all I'm saying. We're crashing down to 1K. Am I right or am I right?
I mean, in some ways, I wish you were right, but you know, I'm not one of those moon boys that thinks that, you know, I'm not going to say that we're going below 10K ever again, like some of these other peeps, because I think that's probably not going to, that sentence is not going to make sense until probably at least 6 months from now. I really need to see how this halvening pullback looks like and how high we can get before the halvening. And I don't know what kind of wild year we can have. So far, it's been great. But now you can see that we're doing the exact thing I said that we can't do, which is fight for 10K price discovery. Right now, bouncing up and down between 4 and 5 digits, every time we do that, it takes strength out of the fact that we were, you know, above 10K and, you know, never going to see 9K again type stuff going on. It's like it's a very important psychological barrier, and each time we flip up and down it, it just you know, it dilutes that psychological sentiment. It almost makes it feel normal, and that's not what I want to feel right here. I want to feel that 10K is a strong buy for Bitcoin, and that, you know, we're going up. Right now, that's clearly not the case. Now, this did start with one massive dump over here, and interestingly enough, we had a 3.3% move, and let's see, this is a 5-minute chart. So a 5-minute candle with 3.13% move to the downside, and we had $92 million in liquidations. $92 million liquidated long. It's absolutely insane to me, the level of degen action we have. This is only a 3% move. Now, of course, you could say from the high, you know, maybe if someone shorted 10.5 and we drop down to 9.7, you know, that's still above 10x, but, you know, not quite full-blown degen. But this is still pretty degen to me. Either way, $92 million getting liquidated in a single candle shows to me with a relative high of 9,500, maybe a 95 and change. It just shows me we have way too many overzealous market participants, and we just got to get used to this. We've seen this happen before. So what am I thinking as we go through this? This is definitely bad. I don't want to see bulls keep getting shaken out like this because it takes away from their strength. Now, if we keep doing that, then this is going to be a much more grindy market, and I of course want Bitcoin to go to the moon quickly. But if we keep grinding and, you know, these bulls keep acting like, bad words, then we're gonna keep getting shakeouts. The market's gonna respond accordingly, and we're gonna have to grind through areas that otherwise wouldn't need to be ground through. So yep, now we're just like, it just stalled time, probably a week. Now we have to deal with this for days.
But
you know?
but I wonder, Joe, because last week I remember us talking about the fact that, and you said that there was such a quick run up to 10K that the market was overbought at that time. I mean, is this not just an organic pullback? What's the difference between what we've seen and what was expected after such a significant run up that saw us go all the way to 10.5 before sort of a settling period?
Yeah, well, we did have a few. So let's take a look at the daily real quick to get a better illustration of that particular concept. And here we are on the daily. It hasn't really been a straight up. I mean, we have had a consolidation here, a pullback here, 2 consolidation support. We have done, you know, something similar here, a number of days of downside action, you know, a number of days of upside. So this hasn't been, you know, October 25th. You know what I'm saying? This has looked very organic to me. Almost everything in this is organic in my eyes, except for these events where we liquidate massive numbers of people. This is killer right here. $92 million in shorts. You know, so I don't really look at this as the market is doing anything irrational to the upside. It's definitely a strong uptrend. 100% agree with you there. But I believe we have a very strong narrative to drive that uptrend. So I'm not really going to worry too much about this stable grind up with 5% candles. If we were stacking 10, 11% candles on top of 13, on top of a random 25% day, yeah, then it would be super overheated and probably sell off like Ethereum did. And Ethereum still looks good. So I mean, it's really curious to me that Bitcoin had this spill, and it's not curious to me. To me, this is a liquidation hunt. That's kind of one of the less organic things sprinkled in this market. And now the market's going to probably, instead of immediately reversing like we tried, sellers came back in, and now that's going to push us down, or maybe not necessarily down, but it's going to keep us down for what I would guess to be around a week or so, because sometimes these things take a while to resolve.
What about that impending golden cross? I mean, just seeing on your charts there, it looks like we're about to hit that. Is that not going to make any changes to market sentiment, get a few more bulls excited and back wanting to re-enter positions in the market?
Let's put it like this. I hope it makes bulls excited, but I'm not going to expect it to. I think we have an example over here of, well, maybe not over here. I thought I had a better example of a bullish crossover. No, I don't. I don't. I might have to go back way too far for this. So anyways, yeah, this does make me bullish. Historically, a golden cross, especially of the short um, the short and long-term moving averages are pretty good. This clearly means that we're bullish, and price trading above the 200-day moving average. A lot of just that alone, people would say is bullish. But could we still step back, toward the crossover, price of 8,900? Absolutely. I that's what kind of scares me is like now the market's been put into a like, is this thing going to pull back into a golden cross? Or is this thing gonna, is this rocket fuel, right? And days ago, or maybe just 2 days ago, this would have been rocket fuel. Now looking at it, it's definitely something that's going to add to a bullish case scenario if that's what bulls are looking for. But right now, it looks like bulls are just looking to hang on, and if that's all they're doing successfully, then we're in trouble for this run, at least short term.
Certainly a potential trouble in the air, but looking in the last 24 hours particularly, that trouble doesn't seem to be situated exclusively with Bitcoin. If you look just on that shorter time frame, we see a lot of alts seeing significant drops, well beyond even what we've seen in Bitcoin. Is this that classic move that we've seen from alt seasons in the past, that when Bitcoin goes up, we see some of these alts move up faster, but when Bitcoin drops, some of them hit the floor pretty damn hard? Is that what we're seeing here, Joe, or is it too early to make that call?
I think it's too early. I still don't think alt season is full swing. Let's take a quick look at Ethereum and see how it reacted, because this was super hot. Ethereum was super hot right now. Let's see here. This thing was just climbing and climbing. Like this is a very hot run. This is what I was more referring to. Stacked days, double digits here, kicking things off 15%. Beautiful move. We've been riddled with numerous daily candles that were above 5%, and Bitcoin is kind of struggling to do that. Now, we did have a 7% move to the downside relative to a 5% move down in Bitcoin. So really, this hasn't overreacted, and the fact that it hasn't almost has me bullish in Bitcoin. And here it is. Here was a big red candle, right after a death cross, and this is what's worrying me about Bitcoin. Of course, these moving averages are all very close together, and so a snap back to any one of these would be pretty terrible. I'm sure we'd have tons and tons of long liquidations, but I'm not really seeing a strong overreaction at this point. This is a very neutral candle, so I'm still leaning like, all right, the market was definitely hot. A 5 to 7% move correction, okay, let's put that on the table. It's not deadly in retrospect if we keep moving up. A 7% move down is literally like just a blip, on the radar. It's not even something to really pay much attention to. But right now, what this can trigger is uncertainty in a bull market. And if we start to feel like, oh well, this bull market is short-term bearish now, then that's what's worrying me. And the downside targets there in Ethereum, it really is, pretty much anything to the downside. Yeah, I would put that $180 range or $190 range on the table with Ethereum. With Bitcoin, it's probably going to be, on the low end, I really hope we don't go below 8,200. And that's what's really stressing me out right now about the price action is like we've really done something terrible at 10K, which is create uncertainty that 10K is a valuable price. So if we do see Bitcoin start to tank, I do believe that alts will take bigger strides down, but right now this is too early to tell, like you said.
And looking beyond ETH, I know, let's check in with your favorite XRP and see if you can see any action there.
Yeah, XRP's been super lit. I mean, this thing's been really performing well. Look at this wick down here. This thing had a, oh, of course we also had the BitMEX anomaly. I don't know, did you see that, Asher?
Yeah, I heard about that one. What's your take on what happened there?
My take is trading illiquid pools is very dangerous, but I also I don't want to be too mean here. No, I'm very mean, and I want to try to take it easy for once. I think Arthur Hayes probably should have some sort of protections. As much as I hate the XRP community, the XRP asset, not the community. There's even people I like and respect, and I just think they're stupid. But I really don't think that this is how you should treat your traders. You know, whether you long or short, whatever, it doesn't. You know, I really feel bad actually. I don't think an exchange should really kill traders like that. It moved from 33 cents, I think, down to 13, something like that. Flash crash. I broke it down on the 1 second chart, and it just looks stupid. So, anyways, I feel bad for XRP bulls in that sense. This is the one time that they get that feeling from me. But right now it looks pretty good. I think that this thing's still performing well. Huge rejection space right here, and a continuation, a small move back into some of the wick space, and that's fine. I mean, this probably would have been about a 9 or so 10% candle to the downside. So I'm glad. Well, I'm not glad, but obviously, if I was an XRP bull, I'd be super glad that this happened. And this thing's looking great. A little pullback here is certainly, you know, not really dangerous yet. I think XRP is going to be one of the ones swept up in the bull run. Bitcoin's performing well. You know, XRP is probably going to perform well. If Bitcoin starts going even crazier, you know, like, you know, we're talking parabolic type stuff, and XRP goes sideways, then I'm going to start feeling a little less bullish on XRP, generally speaking. I'm just going to say, look, it's acting very differently. Is probably going to be, you know, more along a stable territory. That might be the goal of Ripple, and obviously they have control over the distribution of wealth. In fact, their founders are even selling and dumping bags on the bag holders, so they have a lot of price control mechanisms in place. So if that's what they're looking to do and appeal to, you know, traditional finance companies, then that's what XRP becomes, right? In that case, I'm not going to get very bullish on it entering a parabolic phase like any of these other alts that might do the same. So XRP is still, in my eyes, it's bullish. This pullback wouldn't have me shaking in my boots. But I would be, you know, worried if Bitcoin, Ethereum, these other assets start really taking off and XRP is left behind. That's when I'd get worried. You know, if Ethereum goes to, you know, probably $400 and XRP isn't even close to breaking 75 cents to $1, then chances are that's how it'll play out for at least a majority of the wider market space bull market.
Certainly could be a dividing of the markets there. Plenty to watch out there in the space. A bit of chaos has re-entered what seemed to be a clear bull market, something for us to watch closely. So I recommend for all those watching to stay with us at blocktv.com for all the latest news and information. I'm Asher Westropp-Evans. Thanks for watching.
For more news and updates, follow us on Twitter.